Welcome back to Advancing with Amy, mental health warrior and neurospicy mama. Today we're talking with Tina Hoang, and Tina is going to talk with us about recovering from people pleasing, something a lot of us do, and how this resulted in navigating her inner child. So Tina, tell us a little bit about how this all came about, how you ended up learning to stop people pleasing.
Honestly, it was when right before COVID. It's because someone in my life, romantically, so I was dating this one person, and near the end of the relationship, they ultimately told me, "It's like Tina, your passivity was unattractive."
Oh,
Yeah, and for the longest time, it was very hard for me growing up because I, you know, I grew up in a single household making sure that everyone around me is taken care of and loved because I felt that as a people pleaser, you need to make sure that everyone around you is good because then that means they'll love you and they'll like you. And so for me as a people pleaser, I mean, now I'm recovering from it. So it's not, I'm still a people pleaser, but I'm recovering from it and doing so much better now because now I can say no. I
good.
can say no now. But that really that's kind of the catalyst of how I was be able to recover because the moment they said it, I really had 2 decisions to make from that was, "Okay, yes, I am. Let's continue being that because that's the reason why I'm alive. That's the reason why I'm existing, is to put myself in the back and always cater to someone else. Always." Or the other one was saying like, "Fuck it. No, this is me. No, I'm not gonna do this for me. I'm gonna do this for myself." I wanted to be assertive. I wanted to be more courageous and just being able to say no to people and doing things that I love versus always asking people, "What do you want to eat? Where do you want to go?" Versus, "I want to go eat Italian food today. What do you think about that?" Because that's, for me, that's a sense of being assertive, being a soft assertive, like you're saying what you want, but you're flexible to choosing something else. But I chose to say this is what I want and see where you go. So like that's the decisions I make. But I mean, even when that happened, I was already scared because it was right before New Year's Eve. And New Year's Eve, they have the fireworks and everything. And usually you're with family and friends. That day, I decided to say no to all my friends and family of like, "Oh, you wanna go out and celebrate New Year's Eve?" And I'm like, "No, thank you." I realize it now, just like honestly, right now, that's the first time saying no. And I took my dog at the time. Ugh, that's my baby boy. He passed away just in January,
Oh, I'm
but I would
sorry.
thank you. I miss him a lot. But going back to the story, I brought him and only him with me to the top of the hill and wait into midnight. And I was sitting there and just watching and contemplating my life a little bit of what just happened because I was head over heels for this person and now we're not together anymore. What is more coming in my life now? Because he told me my passivity was unattractive. What do I do? Right.
Right.
And so I just sat there, and then when the clock struck midnight, the first thing I said to myself was, "I'm so proud of you, Tina. I'm so proud of you. So proud of you." And I cried. I cried a lot because I grew up not feeling that I was good enough. I grew up feeling worthless a lot of the time. And it was astonishing of how much I cried because I didn't feel like I deserve it. I didn't feel like I deserved to be proud of myself. I didn't deserve to look at what I've done so far. And even after I said that, I told you, "I love you, Tina." And I even cried even more. I cried even more when it happened because I didn't love myself. love myself more now, but there's still parts of me now, like currently as I'm talking to you, doesn't deserve to be loved, doesn't deserve to be who I am now. And I know that's the inner child talking, my inner child talking, my 15-year-old self talking of not deserving to be loved. During that time too, there was but then, like, that was 5 years ago. It still hurts now, it's, like, 4 or 5 years ago, 2019. I think that's yeah, about 5 years ago now, and it still hurts me a little bit of, like, how I was then, but at the same time, now feeling so proud of where I came now because
Yeah.
there's been so many accomplishments that I've done that feels so good. It feels like I made this happen because I chose this. I chose to make these things happen because it makes me happy and not to always have other people happy all the time. You
That's
know?
so brave.
Thank you.
Yeah. What do you think in your childhood led you to feel like you weren't deserving of love?
I mean, it's possible in a single household, my mom will work quite often. Like she will work double shift from morning. I think like she doesn't work the traditional 9 to 5. She has her own business where she would work about 10 hours a day. And so, of course, when you're younger, you need to stay at a babysitter's house. So there's a possibility that she shouldn't give the love that she wanted to give because she's providing a future for us.
Right.
And that was her mindset. Still kind of is of like staying with that, making sure that we have enough money and have a rooftop over our heads in the future. Because my mom is an immigrant. So she came over here, little to no money, and just doing her best to make sure that me and my family, my siblings are in good health and that when we go, we're okay. It's and I think also on top of that too, I have a disability. I have a physical disability called cerebral palsy, which is a physical disability, and I have cerebral palsy with hemiplegia, which is like the right side of my body is affected. So my left brain is affected. So the motor skills and just everything about it, it's affected on my right side. So anything that I do, there's limitations. And I think with your question too, on top of that, like why I feel like I don't deserve to be loved is because sometimes I feel like people are giving me love out of pity because
Oh,
I have a disability. I'm not completely abled. She needs love because, they feel sorry for me.
sounds like you feel like or you did feel like you were broken.
Yes. In some
And
ways, I felt like I was broken, but I know there's a part of me, but it's also kind of like based on people's interaction with me because they would pamper me a lot and pity me too. But I know like that's only one part of me that feels that way, but another part of me is that raging fire within me, which I definitely do have. Is like it's like, no, everyone, let me do my thing. I can do it myself. I can just do it myself. Okay. Do not bother me. Okay. I can hold this luggage up. Like 15-year-old me, Tina, was like, I can carry this luggage, like a standard luggage to the trunk. Let me do it. Or like carrying certain things because I want to do it. I want to prove people wrong that I can do things physically because I can. And I'm smart enough to not do it if it's too hard for me. Like,
right.
it's a like limitation. I don't want my back to hurt or my arm to hurt if it hurts. So there's also the two sides did coexist in my life, but now it just feels so much stronger now. That side of like always, it does come up. It's ingrained in my body, in my mind, my upbringing. Like, I always need help. I always need people to love me out of pity but then there's also the other side of me, which is like, I think it's like 75%. 25% is that side, but 75% is like, no, 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 no. I'm gonna do it myself. I'm gonna be strong, independent woman. Just kidding. But like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like,
Yeah.
I can do things with my disability. I still can do things even if my people pleasing are in the forefront because I can make decisions on my own. I grew up also feeling that it's better for people to make decisions for me so I don't make that mistake. Because if I make a mistake, the same spiral, the same narrative, the worthlessness, people's not gonna love me, no one's gonna like me, no one's gonna be my friend if I make a mistake on something. And that's the drastic of the black and white thinking of so like right now, you make a mistake, you learn from it, and you don't do that again. That's how
Right.
mistakes are formed. In my mind, I know that, and it comes back. It's like a turn off switch sometimes. So like for me, when I think of a mistake, it's catastrophic. Like if I make a mistake, no one's gonna ever gonna talk to me again, ever again. And I can't learn from this because I'm not that downward spiral of worthlessness of, not smart enough, I can't make that mistake right again. And so, you know, it's been such a long journey too, because even when I ask my friends, "Hey," after that comment from the person I was dating, "Hey, am I passive? Am I passive?" I'd asked like 4 or 5 friends of mine, and they all said, "Yes, you are." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, like, I didn't know I was like that." I mean, they're being truthful. They were telling me the truth, and
Right.
that helped me too. I mean, they didn't wanna say anything to hurt my feelings, but I appreciate they did tell me that when I asked them straightforward, because that also gave me the motivation too to like, "Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna focus on myself," and I'm so glad it kind of happened during COVID because December 2019 was when that happened with the person I was dating. 3 months in, I was still working on myself, and then when everything closed down and locked down, I really navigated with journaling. I used the warm line a lot too. At the time, I didn't have therapy. I've been going to therapy for more than 10 years now, and I value it so much. But during that time, I didn't have therapy because of insurance reasons. So I utilized the warm line, which it's a resource on every state. They depending on their number and what their criteria is. The warm line is it's just a small space to just air out, vent your feelings, your concerns, your situation, your struggles for free too. Like just calling someone for a moment because yeah, it's not the suicide line where like when you're the analogy of like the water is boiling.
Right.
Yeah, it's more like the water is simmering a little bit and just like, okay, it's simmering a little too much now. Let's call someone for a moment. And then
But
you
that
talk.
again shows how brave you are that you actually outreach for help.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I really, uh, honestly, during that time, I feel like the warm line really did help me and save me a lot because of one, COVID, yes. And I'm a verbal problem solver. So talking to someone really helps me more than writing out my thoughts and just figuring it out in my mind of like solving things.
Right. You process through verbalization.
Yes. And there's been many people through the warm line whom whom I thank so much and hope that one day I'll get to meet them in person because they tell me their names, but I don't know where they live or who they are, just like their name. That's it. And so I hope one day I get to meet them and just thank you for that time,
Oh,
especially that time for me. This has
that
been
gives
like a few people.
chills.
Yeah.
That's
I
beautiful.
I I really do because every person, every peer counselor is different. Some counselors, they're just there to listen and just hang out and just be there with you. Some are like firecrackers. I mean, it was good for me to have a combination of both because there are moments when I need someone just hear me out. And then there are some that were firecrackers and like challenging me, my thoughts. And I'm like, whoa, you're right. I understand that. It's like, yeah, I shouldn't be like, yeah, I know why now. It's like it helped me to grow too as a person of who I am meant to be and what my true calling is, my purpose is in life. And it fluctuates. So it's not like a linear thing like, oh yeah, it's 5 years ago. I'm still on that path. No, I'm still like fluctuating right now. Like as of right now, I'm still figuring out what my true purpose is right now. And even as I'm talking to you, Amy, it's like, yeah, maybe this is also where sharing my story and also inspiring people to share their story too through my own podcast as well. It's like just buckle up and show the world who you are. And so,
Exactly.
yeah,
So you have a podcast?
yes, I do. It's called The Courageous Inner Beast.
Oh,
And
I love that.
thank you.
What a
Yeah, it's,
great title.
I know, all I want to do is like tell people, fight for yourself. Cause that's like kind of where my personality is. It's like, it's mainly have women come on and share their stories, but it's like in a sense of for me, when I in that case, I just wanna find people or women that's, like, shaking them, it's like, "Go tell your story, go tell your story, you mean so much," and it's like, say it uncensored, unfiltered, because you deserve to be however you wanna be as a woman. Because like,
Yeah.
growing up, we are known to tell, like, "Oh, be ladylike," or "Don't tame yourself, you have too much energy, you're looking a little crazy right now," or, like, or people mansplaining us. It's like, "Okay." But it's like, we're women. We can do the fuck we want. Sorry if I curse. I don't know.
No, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like that fire in me too, and the fact that I'm here sharing my story, it feels the fire feels good. Like, it feels
Oh,
good in my
good.
body. Like, and it just
What do
feels
you think your purpose is now?
really, I think it's more one to share my story, the multitude of stories I have in my little folder or whatever it's called. I don't know what's called. It's in there. But also bringing that fire to everyone in the world, especially adults, because I think the one of the things that I love, one of the things thinking of doing is encouraging people, especially women right now, as adults, is to play. Like,
Oh,
what to
yeah.
play, like just to play, like no matter how silly it is and how it is, go play as a kid. Like for example, recently, I went to the beach and my friends were just walking on the beach. For me, I was excited with water, so I was like zooming towards the water, zooming out of the water, going sideways, left ways, go backwards. And I was just like so much. I was just running like as if I was a little kid, 5 years old again. But it felt so good because I was able to let myself be free, to let
Yeah.
myself feel that joy again. And sometimes when as women too, it's like we're told to be responsible all the time. We're told to be, oh, you need to take care of your family, take care of your kids, you take care of the other people, like other people all the time. But sometimes we need to take care of ourselves and bring that joy back, bring that silliness back, bring that playfulness back. Not even not even bring it back, but just like, oh, this is me. Okay, we're gonna do it right now. Let's do it right now. It's
Right.
always been within us. It's not bringing it back, but letting that fire come up again, letting that
I
light that brings you so much joy
Well, I
because
can definitely see the fire and the playful side of you. That's
thanks,
great.
Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tina, how long have you been doing your podcast?
I've been doing it for about a year now, so it's
Oh,
fairly
wow.
new. So I hit my 1 year on May 9th, and
Congratulations.
thank you. And so it's been a roller coaster, and like now I'm trying to. I don't know when this is gonna be released, but it's like hopefully by June I will releasing my own solo episode of my stories, just like little snippets of it and just like having fun with it. And it's like, so beasties, that's all my beasties. I'm gonna call my people in the podcast my beasties. Like, hey beasties. So today's story is, and then like you just have fun with it because
That's
I think
great.
that's just so fun to feel that feeling again. And honestly, talking with you right now, Amy, sharing what I would do on my podcast and sharing what, to inspire people to just have fun. Like there's no need to have the facade. And that's what I've learned kind of going back with all the people pleasing my inner child. My inner child have always been playful all the time. And there have been moments with my people pleasing, I bring up my true self of being really playful, and then sometimes I act kind of weird. Like there's certain there, and then it's and I love it. And then sometimes people around me say, "Tina, you're so weird," and I'm like, back then when I was younger, I was like, "No," it's like I don't want to be weird. But now I'm embracing it. I'm like, "Yes, I'm weird, and I'm gonna do whatever I want to do." And then you
Yes.
gravitate toward me, great. If you don't, that's fine. You go do your thing. And then like,
Right. The
yes.
people that are meant to be around you will gravitate towards you.
Yes. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, and so that's why it feels so good now because I haven't been this playful for a very long time. It's always been quiet, shy. Well, I don't think I'm quiet. I think I can be shy, but if I'm around the right people, I have so much energy. I can like be like can you'll be tired of me because I'm so much energy. Not in regards of like talking, but movement, body
Right.
movement, energy movement, and just like, "Yeah, like, I'm
That's
here, let's
great.
go play." And so, I just like doing that. And so, yeah. Wait, so how long
So
have you been doing your podcast too?
not very long, just since January.
Ooh, yes. Great. Oh my god, it's already been 5 months? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's amazing. That's
Thank
amazing.
you. So I'm curious, are you in a relationship now?
Yes, I am. And my partner, he's the opposite of me. Kind of. He's more of the chill kind of person, like, I think but then the fact that he not allows me, but he gives me that space to just exert all of my energy as I complete, and he's okay with it. Like, when he literally just a looking at my eye like, when he looks at me and he sees how I'm looking at him, he's like, "Oh, no." And he like, in a good way, like, "Oh, no." Like, he knows it's, like, my pent up energy, and it's like, I'm ready to, like, like, hold him and hug him, and also, like
Oh.
and I'm 5 foot. He's 5'10", and
Oh, wow.
he's like he knows I have a lot of energy to give, and I gotta give the energy out, and he's like, "Okay." It's like he's trying to be prepared for my energy. And then so and then also, like, going back to the beach, that's exactly what he did, was he just walked. He just walked, and he didn't mind just walking, and that so I would, like, run around back and forth and come back to him, "Hi," and then run back again, "Hi," and then, like, just go around the whole time just imagining that. So he would just, like the fact that he just allows me to just
Be
giving me
you.
that space
Yeah, he
to
lets you be who you are.
yes,
That's
and
wonderful.
it's just a lot of energy that I have. And right now, I have a lot of energy, but I also, like I'm also yeah, like, I'm good. I feel good.
Yeah, you've come a long way.
Yeah. I just
Well, good.
good. And so
Well, I've really enjoyed talking with you today, Tina. It's really nice to hear how far you've come.
thank you. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to leave our listeners with today in terms of some words of encouragement or for somebody that's going through the same kind of thing?
Yeah, so I think if anything, it's also my motto is do it anyways. Yeah. Do it
Yeah.
anyways because no matter how scared, fragile, fearful, or even, like, debilitating it could be, do it anyways. And quoting from Atomic Habits, which I've utilized since for 5 years now, since I learned about it, was just do 2 minutes of it. That's the do it anyways. The do it anyways means do it for 2 hours. Do it for not 2 hours. Do it for 2 minutes. Just do it 2 minutes and
Yeah.
you succeeded that day. You've already succeeded and accomplished something so amazing for that day.
I love that, and then you can be proud of yourself, yeah,
Yes. And
that's
then
great.
just do that every day for 2 minutes, and then if you wanna increase it, great. Just, based on your comfortability, you can do it 3 minutes the next day, 4 minutes, and then eventually you forget the time, you're, like, in it for so long.
Right,
Yeah.
and you've accomplished what you didn't think you could accomplish.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Alright, well, thank you so much, Tina, I enjoyed having you here today.
Thank you, Amy, for having me and just holding space for me to share my story.
Oh, you're very welcome, I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, that wraps up another inspiring episode of Advancing with Amy, mental health warrior and neurospicy mama. Huge thanks to Tina for sharing her journey from people pleasing to personal empowerment. Her story of resilience and embracing her inner child truly resonates. Don't forget to check out Tina's podcast, The Courageous Inner Beast, where she continues to inspire others to share their stories boldly. If you found this episode valuable, we'd love for you to rate, review, and share it with your friends. Your support helps us reach more people and continue to bring empowering stories your way. Stay tuned for our next episode and keep advancing, warriors.